Welcome back to another episode of Who's On First. I'm your host, Dwayne.
I'm Jason.
And before we start, please like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel to help us out a bunch. Also, follow us on TikTok, tiktok.com/who's on first _. Go like the video, share them, do all that cool stuff. But let's get to probably the biggest player potentially available and also the most buzz around the trade deadline, Shohei Ohtani. We've already talked about the potential of him being traded, or should he be traded. We did a video 2 weeks ago about will the Angels regret not trading him, because a report came out that said the Angels were most likely not going to trade him. But since then, another report has came out that said the Angels are now basically fielding trade proposals for Shohei Ohtani.
What team wouldn't love to have Shohei Ohtani? Well, the reality of that may not be a total long shot. Our insider John Heyman reported that the Angels are listening to offers on everyone, including Shohei. Showtime was asked about it by Sam Blum of The Athletic. He said, quote, "Regardless of where I'm playing, I want to give it my all. Try to win the ball game that's right in front of me. I'm with the Angels right now, and I'm very thankful for what they've done. I really love the team. I love my teammates right now. I'm an Angel, and that's all I can really focus on this point." Now,
and also another report has come out that the Angels will not be trading Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's just dumb. And obviously we're talking if they make the decision to trade him, there's still 11 days left. But if you're going to trade him, like to just say, I'm not trading with the Dodgers, well, guess what? He's a free agent at the end of the year anyway, and he could just sign with the Dodgers if he wants to. And they certainly appear to be a top player in this. So you can't prevent Shohei from going to the Dodgers. So why not just, if they're the best package available, I don't understand why you wouldn't do it. It's dumb in my opinion.
If a trade does happen. But before we get into all the extracurriculars about the situation, give me your thoughts on the potential of a Shohei Ohtani trade potentially happening with about a week and a half left until the trade deadline.
He's not going to get traded. I said that before. I'll say it again. He's not being traded. No team will pull off a move because it will cost too much for a rental. Shohei Ohtani was quoted tonight as saying after the game, he was asked about re-signing with the Angels, and he said, we're in the middle of the season. We're not talking about it. We're just focusing on it, on making the playoffs. Since the Angels look like they're in the playoff hunt now, again, since they're 4.5 out of the wild card, and after 4 straight wins. So I personally don't believe the Angels will trade him, just because if they trade him, they are pretty much saying they're not going to re-sign him, because no one's ever re-signed with the team that traded them away to build up prospects. If an owner lets his GM trade for Ohtani and give up the farm and just for a rental for 3 months, that GM is going to get fired. So it's a very tricky situation all around. Angels are smart for listening to the offers, because if someone's stupid enough and you don't believe it's going to happen, then you have to pull the trigger. Like, I personally, for the Angels, what makes best for them is trading Ohtani.
Right.
But what makes best for the Angels also in trying to re-sign him is not trading Ohtani. So this is it. This is where it sucks being the Angels, because you won the sweepstakes to get the guy. You showcased the guy. This dude's now lived up to his potential, and you've squandered it away, possibly, if you don't make the playoffs this year.
I feel like they will trade Shohei Ohtani. And the only reason I feel that way is just because this is a question I guess I'll ask everyone out there. How much do you guys believe that the Angels making the playoffs is going to impact Ohtani's decision? And I say that because it would have taken the Angels a third, basically baseball to create a third wild card slot. The Angels to somehow play good enough to sneak into the playoffs, and then from there, whatever happens, happens, right? But to me, Shohei Ohtani has been pretty honest and forthcoming that he wants to win, right? So I just don't see how that is a long term. If you're Shohei Ohtani, how does that instill any confidence in you that the Angels are going to continue to win just because they somehow made it into the playoffs this year? But it was really predicated on you being incredible to
But
do
you
it.
also have to go back and remember when Shohei Ohtani came over to the
Right.
MLB. Every team was in the same position for him. Every
Mhm.
team had to fill out the little uh, form that he wanted done to
Right.
express it. He chose the Angels for a reason. So that's where I tell everyone.
Because
I go,
the Dodgers didn't have it, couldn't do a
no,
DH.
but that's the thing. Everyone always will sit there and say, "Oh, the Dodgers didn't have a DH," but no one ever knows. No one knows. So just like how everyone thinks that he's going to get traded, we've discussed it on the last episode what it would take. You're you're going to tell me you're willing, like if you were a GM, you would be willing to risk giving up what you saw in some reports that we've seen out there
Right.
for a rental and still feel comfortable about it.
Of his caliber, yes. Of his caliber, because, like I said, he fits two needs for every team, which is a impact bat and a frontline bona fide ace into the playoffs, right? I guess the formula today is you need like probably two like ace type one A, 1B pitchers or starters, and then you need like a good number two, number three in the playoffs, right? Because you're eventually gonna have to ride either one of the aces to have they're gonna have to pitch at least twice in a series, right? That's kind of the formula. And then lineup wise, you need at least a good middle of the lineup with enough contact around, and you got a slug to be able to perform in the playoffs, right? Ohtani fits both needs so well that that's why I feel like any team that would be, like you said, stupid enough to do it, it would make so much sense because you fit two needs. Like I said, last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about teams that could potentially pull off a trade, right? And I think I said the Rays, right? I said the Rays didn't need him at that time because the Rays were doing fine, but him on the Rays would be incredible. Now the Rays are in second place. So now if you're the Rays, you're looking at this and you're like, okay, we need pitching. We definitely could use more offense. An Ohtani trade would make sense. And especially because for a Rays team that is predicated on drafting and
But so this goes to my next question about the Rays because I was talking with someone else about this today. What is the Rays' average budget per year? They can't re-sign him. So you're going to give up everything to hope you make it to the World Series.
yeah, essentially.
You're not going to re-sign him. So why would you even trade? I mean, you know they can't afford him.
Because at this point, the teams that are able to pull off this deal, you're doing it. Only a handful of teams are doing it for today and now. And that would be one of them, apparently, is not going to be an option, which is the Dodgers. Another team is Seattle. That probably won't be an option because they're in the same division. All right. And then you go probably the Giants. And then you go the Yankees. Um, and then the Mets. The Mets aren't in it at all. Right.
Yeah.
Probably you can say the Padres, but they have a lot of money tied up, right? So, but every other team that's not those guys that are in the hunt could make a substantial run with him for that 3-month period and including the playoffs to try to win a title.